Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Card Craft. Thanks for joining me again today. Must be Wednesday. It's time for our PPG Choose 6 challenge. Now, this is the challenge being hosted by Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. Please come and join us. This is technically, well, not technically at all. It is. It's our last week of this challenge. Don't worry, we've got a new challenge coming up. It won't be up for another 2 weeks, so you've got 2 weeks to do week 13. No excuse. Love to see what you're making with these Choose 6 challenges as well. If you want to, just copy our prompts, or you can go into the events tab in the PPG Facebook group, Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group, go into the events tab and you'll see all the prompts there. So we've just allowed Lynn to choose all our prompts, and then this was all that was left from all the many millions of prompts that were there for our last week. So for this week, we have definition, envelope. That one's going to be hard for me, isn't it? Marker or coloured pencil, geometric, sun, moon or stars, and fairy or gnome. Just a kind of a mix. So that was all that was left. As I said, this one will run for 2 weeks. So I'd love to see some more projects coming up on the group pages to see what everybody else is doing. And then we have a brand new challenge. And we also have some giveaways coming up as well. So keep tuned to that one as well. If you haven't already joined, please come over and join us at Playing with Paper and Glue. Great group, lots of fun. We'd love to have you on board as well. Okay, so this time, I'll sit that just there to make sure I've got them. I have been ticking them off as I've found them. Got a few ideas in my head. First and foremost, of course, we'll start with our envelopes. So I've got 4 envelopes here, varying sizes. 2 craft ones, different coloured craft, 2 that were plain white. And just before I started, I gave them a very light coffee wash. So I usually have my little container of coffee sitting here when I'm quickly trying to get something done. So I've just added a little bit more water into it so that it's just an off-white. It's more like a tea dye, actually, these ones have ended up. So I've done front and back, not this because I'm going to trim this bit off. And my little one, I've done the inside of this because this bit will be adhered down. Okay, so before I start, I do need to trim this bit off. So I'll just grab my little mat, which you can tuck in there. Find my ruler. Yes, I know I could trim these off with scissors, but, you know, this is me. When do I ever take the easy way? All right, so that's that side. I'll slide this in this way to get this bit. That way I know I'm not going to cut through all the bits of paper in my envelope. Except I am going to cut through that, aren't I? Let's see if we can tear that last bit off. Beautiful. Did I go through that side? No. Well, that was a good thing. All right. Put that back there so I've got a little bit of space. What I plan to do is a little envelope folio. So, starting with our smallest one, I want that one and I want that one. I want this one. So my little one will be adhered to him on that side and open up that way. This one I'm going to have on this side, so he will then open up that way. That one, that side, and then all of it will go onto that. I like it when my envelope's not the same size and they're all ins and outs and all the rest. And then I've got this. So what I'm going to do is actually put them together. First off, it'll probably make it harder to work with, but then you can see what we're actually doing. Does that make sense? Normally I just use double-sided tape when I'm doing these, and then I can trim them back. So going right up to our fold and along, give it a good push. That way you know it's stuck on properly. Trim that a bit off. Now, and I'm going to trim down so that, because it really only needs to be the width of the double-sided tape. I tend to use the wider one, so it's a 6mm, which in inches is, yeah, close to ½ inch. But yeah, so when I'm actually adhering envelopes on, I tend to use the wider one, just so that I can get it to make sure that it's definitely adhered. If I can get the backing off, we'll do even better. There we go. In the bin. Now I've got my edges there. I'm just going to fold those guys back over on themselves. Saves trying to trim up that small section and getting very sticky scissors. Now that's going to go on this one. So on the same side as the opening for this one, somewhere in the middle. I'm just going to hang on to that a little bit. Doesn't have to be dead smack on the middle, but somewhere around the middle I want it. Like so. So that that one will open up like that. I can put a little bit of washi tape on that if I want, or because I've stained this one with coffee on the inside the same as that, it doesn't look too bad already on there. So my next little envelope, which is a pre-purchased envelope, is going to go in here so that it sits in there like that. This one I plan to stick on this side. Okay, so once again, I'll use my double-sided tape. I might even put it on the right way around, because this one needs to be on the inside. Good thing we thought of that one before I started. Right. As we were, so on the inside of this envelope, up against the crease, not right over the crease, you need to give it a little bit of wiggle room so that it'll go over the width of the other envelope. Trim that off. And then trim that last bit off. But I'll keep this section. The other bit I threw away because it was just a tiny strip. This one makes a nice little tuck spot or something like that when you're chopping them off from those. I like these. I quite often use those in different bits and bobs. All right. Give him a good push. If he won't come off, just give him a better push. Peeling that, folding that. Make sure it's all folded down. All right, so this one I want on the other side. So what I'm going to do, turn it around because I'm a righty, lift it up like that, work out round about, slide it down so that it's not actually touching that double-sided tape yet, and then just fold it straight down. So that what I've got now is my 2 envelopes already attached. Okay. My last envelope, I'm going to adhere in here. So we're going to pop that one in there. And as you can see, it's a larger envelope. So what I'll do is I'll adhere it onto this, and then I'll trim off my excess. So I know that I want to go, I'm just going to pop a pencil mark. I want to go to about there, and I want to go to about there. Once again, I'll pop my double-sided tape on those bits, and then I can trim off my excess. Double check that I'm going the right way around before I go. Yes. What is it? Measure twice, cut once. Or think about it first. All right. Give him a good push as you go. And I'm just going to go to that pencil mark. Like so. Now I know which bit I can actually trim off. Big scissors would do it a lot quicker. A knife would do it quicker again. We've already got the little scissors in our hands, so let's just use the little scissors. Alright, I want to chop down there, just to my crease line. Same on this side. And I'm going to chop that bit off. Okay, makes sense. So that when this one goes on, like so, it should be exactly the same size as my craft envelope at the back. So, and the easiest way to do that is to hold this guy upside down when you're actually popping him on. So sitting it that way. My back envelope is like this as well. So I can slide this up so that I match it all together, keeping it just a little bit away from the crease. Hold it down, folded it off. If you find that you're not comfortable using double-sided tape, by all means, use glue. And it gives you more time to wiggle around and get it set right. But I find I end up with too much mess when I'm using glue. So, technically, here's my little project that we're doing today. So we've got envelope, 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 and then we've got our back envelope. Now you could keep going with many, many more envelopes. I've got this on the back, and I like this for two reasons. One, I could sit this whole thing in a belly band, so it's all decorated, sat in a belly band or in a pocket, and then I've actually got a little pocket with a closure on here. Look lovely with one of those little coin envelope closures on it. Or what you can do, don't have a big one, I've only got a small one. A slimline journal that I'm working on at the moment. This is too big to go in this, but it'll give you the same idea. So let's just go to a centre. What you can do with this bit, sit that in here so that it sits in, and then it's sewn in with your signatures. And then, so when you're coming along, let's just find a bit. All right, so let's say we're working our way through our journal, blah, 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 blah. And then you've got this that can be created into a long skinny pocket or a tab that comes further out. And then you're working the way through the rest of your journal. This is about where I've got to. And you fold over and you've got this. So you've got a pocket already in here. Then you turn your page and you've got that. Okay? That's how I quite like to do these, because then they're already sewn in as well, because they're just sewn into part of your journal. But you can just leave the whole thing, have a belly band going either or, and just slide it in with the belly band. Make sense? As I said, it's too wide, just a little bit too wide for this journal, so it'll go in one of my other journals. But that's the one that I've got sitting on my desk at the moment. Just bear with me, I'm just having a little sip of my coffee. Ah, yummy. Right, so here's our little envelope thing. So yes, we can tick envelope. Now I need definition. My little project, we'll just call it a little project until I come up with a name for it, needs a definition, and it needs geometric, and it needs sun, moon, stars, and fairy. So I've decided that this will be journey. My definition that I'm going to use is journey, and I want that on the front, but it's journey and wander and things like that. So my little fairy I've chosen is this one, because she's wandering, right? And I may even have the poem, I'm thinking, in it as well, because it says in here, You know, when the days have grown in length, when the sun has great power. So that covers sun as well. Whether I use it or not is another thing. I've also got Every Man's Dictionary of Quotations and Proverbs. And it's just a plethora of all sorts of quotes and bits of poems and stuff like that. But I found I dreamed that as I wandered by the way, bare winter suddenly was changed to spring, and gentle odours led my steps astray, mixed with the sound of waters murmuring. So that's from Shelley. And I thought that'll all work in because it gives definitions of wander and all the rest. So that is my plan. How I do them all, I'm not quite certain. My sun, moon and stars, I have a primer of navigation. So I've got all these wonderful geometric measurements for this. And I also have, this is a star chart. So all of these sorts of things are going to be covering my envelopes. The other thing I want to do, and I don't know if it's going to work, we're going to give it a shot. If it doesn't work, I'm not overly concerned because, let's face it, I can cover it up. What I want to do with this one, okay, is to use my coloured pencil because I kept thinking, how am I going to use coloured pencil? So I've got a star stencil here. You can see it's well loved. But what I want to do is just pop them down like so. But I'm going to use my watercolour pencils. Just some of them. Lots of different ones of my watercolour pencils. So I think I've got 4 sets sitting here beside me. And all I want to do is roughly fill these guys in. So I'm using a little bit of green because that's the colour that's going to be on the fairy. But I'm not colouring in beautifully. I don't want to colour in beautifully. What I want is just the vague idea of it. Because I'm going to add water to these anyway. I love that blue. We'll just do a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work. I truly don't know. We'll find out. If not, we'll cover the whole thing. So, I'll put a little one down here. And down here, let's go for a different colour, green. Let's fill that in properly. Hang on a moment. Let's find my good ones, which are the ones I like to use all the time. Anyway, let's pull out the Derwent ones. And I've got the nicer green, or what I think is a nicer green in here. You can tell it's been well loved. They're a softer pencil, I find, the Derwent ones, and they cover nicer. Depends on what you're using them for. I just find that these are really soft. So we'll go another green. Just loosely, roughly, you know, playing around. Let's try their blue. In here, the larger stars are easier to colour in. What have I not done? We'll do one down here, just for, because I'll have stuff all over this anyway. And here. And here, because that's on that actual band. Got a few stars sitting there. Let's see if this works. In my mind, I'm hoping that if I now brush a little bit of water over that, I've got a paintbrush, and I've got a little bit of glue. Let's get rid of it, a little bit of water. Yeah. So it'll soften them and give them a background. I might have to put the, what do you call it, the heat gun back on this in a minute. The Derwents work the best. So, but I've got a little bit of a background going on there. Yeah, the greens work the best too. So technically, I've got some stars in there now. Just bear with me and we'll just dry a little bit of that. And I've got some drops of water here that I need to get rid of. Alright. So here's a little bit going on there, and it's just given it a little bit of difference. So I've got my stars of that type in there. Another mouthful of coffee. Right, 20 minutes already and we've hardly done a thing. Let's get this girl on, this girl, fairy, whichever one it was, on first. So, unfortunately with these ones, they are double-sided. So when I choose a fairy, I lose a fairy. The problem being, if I use that... Oh, no, that one's all right. Right. So, we'll move that one over there. This one I'm wanting on here. Oh, look, it would have worked all the way through, wouldn't it? Doesn't that fit that beautifully? I should have coffee dyed that first. Let's just have a look and see if I can get rid of that stark white. We'll just go this way. That's what I get for not measuring it, first of all. I like the torn bit down the side. So, I'll need to give this a bit of a buff because they're a little bit shiny, these papers. So we just want to make sure that that's not going to come off into the rest of our envelopes or onto our fingers as we're working. Or, you know, once you've got the journal, whether it's going to be, yes, see how you can see it on there? When they're shiny like that, they will do that. Right, so we'll give it an edge. But we'll go, and that's why I go with the, now just chucking that heat gun down. Go back to my tree branch, and that's why I tend to use these, which are a permanent ink. I'm back with my little blending brush. Just to give it some edges. Rough up that. Let's have a look at that. Oh, that's looking nicely old now, isn't it? Nicely old. You know what I mean. Yes, I like that on there now. But it does mean, I wonder if you're going to fit, you're not going to fit, but you might go that way. That might actually work. So let's have a look at this one for the underside of that. There's my edge. Don't want it too big. And I like that kind of torn look. Yes, that will fit on there. All right. So we'll go on here. And I can go up a little bit. About there. Roundabout. Let's have a look now. See if we fit. Yes, you fit. And you're actually the same length as that envelope at the moment. But I'm going to need a little bit of torn on that side, aren't I? So let's have a look. That matches it all up. So we might just do the same with this one so that I'm not dealing with directly with the white. So a little. Now the one I'm using here is just antique linen in the Distress Oxide. Whether it's the Distress ink or the Distress Oxide, doesn't matter for this sort of thing. All I'm doing is taking the starkness of the white away. Give it a bit of a buff. Take off any excess that you've got there as well. And then we'll go back to doing our edges with this one, just to really give it that aged look. You can see I'm going quite far in this time. I'm always starting on my mat or on my glass table and then swiping it over. That way I can get right in here. Right. And we'll just wipe that because I've now got ink everywhere. A little bit still. That's all right. So I'm liking that in there. I'm liking her on there. I'm actually going to stick her down before I move her again, I think. But we'll just grab this one. And we'll grab this one. That's right. Forgot that one was nearly empty the other day too. I think I've got another one in my drawer, hopefully here. I'm hoping. Right, there's that one. Just so that I've got a kind of even bit all the way through. I need my... Oh, come on, Kylie, what would you have done with it? Oh, it's all right. It's in front of me. Right, there's that bit. She's down. Yay! More coffee, sorry. I want other things to go on that. So, let's look at my... I don't want the big, dark ones. Maybe, I want that as a big one. Stars. What else do I have in pictures of the stars? No. Planets and the moon. Probably not. And see, I've pulled bits out of here, left, right, and centre. What about that? That looks pretty cool. See how we can utilise that. Set all those over there. So I just want a little bit either side of that. It doesn't have to be the full length. Sorry, thinking. That was my thinking music. Did you get it? All right, so a little bit above, a little bit below. Move this ruler up. And chop that in half. So that bit can go out that way. That bit can go out that way. That'll work, won't it? Yep. All right, so let's stick those ones down. That was nice and easy. One for that side, one for this side. I love books like this. There's just a plethora of different bits and pieces in there to find. I'll go the smaller book one now. Make sure I've got them up the right way. And then I can stick my other piece on. So you don't have to work from the front to the back. This is going to sit in here like that. Yep. All right. That's about even, isn't it? I swear that little thing, there it is. You'd think because it's purple, I'd find it. But no, that would be too easy. Now, if you want, you can measure with your ruler so that they're both at exactly the same height and look like they're going all the way through. I'm not going to. It's around about there. Right against the edge. Push that down. And then this one can adhere just there like that. Yeah, happy with that. Quite happy with that, actually. Ah, you'll notice this is because I don't want to go back to those stars that I stenciled. Because I'm liking everything else. Whoop, gotcha. All right. Bit like that. Look at that. Happy with that one. All right. I know I'm going to put my definition and everything on there. I'm thinking I might find a label or a frame or something like that. So we'll just leave that one for a moment. What are we doing? 31 minutes. 32 minutes, yes, all right. Quick mouthful of the coffee. Yummy, yummy. Right, this one. I want that Wonder one in here, if it fits. I need to see if that's going to fit first. Again, we'll just leave this one. So, it was that one. It's all right, just looking for what I just did with my little ruler. Beside me, it's just here. So all up, it's around about 2 3/4. About 3/4 of an inch. So it's not going to fit there, but it might. It'll fit down there, across there. So that one works well. So that'll end up going down there. We might take him out now. Don't want to rip the whole page of this one out. I'll just move my little bookmark. And what I'm going to do, it was that one, wasn't it? Don't want to lose the one above it. All right, and I'm going to go to that one. Because if I kill it, I can't do anything else. Because it was the only one in there. Look at that. All right, and close that. Put that one over there now too. It's kind of straight. I like my numbers. You know I like my numbers, so we might leave our numbers in there as well. Don't really need the question because it doesn't say that it's Shelley anyway. This might need something else. Let's go back to our navigation one and find my tables. Right. Maybe if I can find, you know, a smaller one of these maps for wandering. That'll work. Don't want tools of the trade. Well, I can use the rest of that, can't I, actually? There you go. All right, so I'm just going to tear that bit off, see how far I can go. I like that bit of wording. And take that bit up there. Lovely. Just fit, and I can go to about there. Let's see what we've got there. Take a little bit of that off. Remember, if you have trouble with your tearing, just use your water brush with it. Need a little bit off that bit, and we're done. And then I can pop that one in there. Yep, happy with that. Happy with that. We'll just stick that down before we think about it any further. Now this sort of one, this little envelope book would look wonderful or go really well in a traveller's notebook. I think it would actually, might have to do one now that I've, just for this. Because it's all about journey and travel and all the rest, I think it would go beautifully in it. So sometimes you might not actually make something for a specific item that you've already got on the go. It's nice to have things sitting there pre-done for when you're doing something else, and you can just pull these things out, especially on days you know you've got to get something done, but the mojo's not there. It's nice to pull things out that are partly completed or all the way completed, and they'll get you going again. Right, so that's that one. On the front of this one, and in there, I want more of my, what have I missed? Hang on, before I keep talking. My definition, of course, that's going to be in there. Envelopes, done. Marker or coloured pencil, that's my coloured pencil. Geometric, we're still doing. We have sun, moon or stars, and our fairy or gnome is just there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we can start looking at our definition on the front, which is this one. So he will definitely fit in the front of that, but maybe with a frame or something like that. What do I have in frames that are already pre-done? Oh, sorry, I don't mean to lean in front of you, am I? Right, frames, let's have a look. Oh, wonder if Journey fits in that now. No, good idea at the time. I could trim out that inside bit, but like it. They're all too wide, aren't they? Doors. Thinking, don't want circle. Journey's not going to fit in that, is it? Not a hoop. There's got to be one here. Most of these are stamped ones, so I know if I haven't got it in here, I haven't got it in my stamps either. So maybe I might have to put them separately on labels. Oh, hang on. Here we go. I've got narrower ones. Why is Journey so long? It's a long journey. Why don't I have rectangles? Larger rectangles. Yes, I could trim that out further. All right, that's an option. If I can't get anything else, that will be an option. All right. All right. I've got a couple of options there that we could maybe muck around with. So let's see what we've got. All in all, though, it'll depend on the size of this envelope, because that was about it, wasn't it? That will fit there. I like the darker colour better. I might have to trim out that other bit. So, Journey will fit there on that. This was a better size. Maybe if I trim out. Yes, I could probably just get it if I trim that out. So back to the first one, knife. And what I'm going to need to do is just make this frame just a tad bit larger. Just gently, just softly, because we don't want it to slip. Doesn't really need any on the top and bottom, but I'm going to need to match it up now. So I'm back down to this bit. And I'll check how I've gone on the back side of it and see how we go. I haven't done anything. There I was thinking I had a really sharp blade, but no. Right, now I can feel it cutting through. Last bit. Not quite the last bit. Right, let's see if Journey fits now. Yes. And my definition will just fit. Right. Do I want it actually stamped on there, or do I want a back piece on that? Different colour. Maybe a darker coffee dyed piece. I should have some in my scraps over here, maybe. Something like that colour. That'll work. See, and these are literally scraps that I've had sitting there from something else. Yes, it is wide enough. Yeah, look at that. Right, so I will just, and I'm going to actually stick this down first, because then I can place my stamping exactly where I need it. Whereas if I try and do it the other way and stamp on this piece and then put my frame over it, I know I'll be out of whack. All right, so we're going to go like that. So I've just used a really tiny 1/8 of an inch or 3mm tape on this one, because I just want to catch it. It's not very wide, that paper, so we just need to catch our edges, and then it's all in one piece and it's not going to move on us. There's no up and down, is there? No. So if I do that little piece, making sure I've got all that. Yes, it's all going to fit. I'm just going to chop that bit off. Yes, I know I should have measured and all the rest, but that's fine. A little bit more. Because if you measure, you don't have to keep cutting like that. Right. Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Push it down. Right. There's the inside of that. So what I'm going to need to do, and I'm not going to use the, maybe I do use the Misty. We might use the Misty, you know, just in case we have to double stamp it. Look, I've got another little frame there. All right. So with the Misty, I want to go that way. And I'm just going to work these out first. I'm going to do them separately. So if I want Journey up about there, I'm still going to stamp them separately, but I just want to put them on for placement to start with. And make sure that I've got that round the right way. Yes. So look, that'll go down there. Oh, let's just stamp them together. How's that? Does that look straight from your angle? Fairly straight. Let's stamp them in my new favourite, Fallen Leaves. Yes, Fallen Leaves. Sorry, I'm just thinking how much green was showing on the rest of that. I thought I might do it in Shady Lane, but there's not that much green. All right. Let's see what we've got. That's stamped beautifully. Happy with that. Right, so I've got a piece of paper towel here. I'll just wipe them. Pop them back on there so I don't lose them. I have a tendency to just pop stamps on my desk and then have many a happy hour trying to find where they've come from. Turn that. Right, you're done. You're done. Put you back there. 'Tis so much easier since I don't have my stamps over here, my inks over here. And I'll keep reaching in front of you. Right, so there's Journey. Look at that. Yeah, happy with that, actually. Quite happy with that. So, we'll stick this guy down. And what I'm going to do is just this centre bit with my glue stick. And then I might use my normal white glue around my edges. Ugh. Just to doubly make sure that because this side bit is cardstock, whereas it's got paper on the inside. So I just want to doubly make sure that it's all going to be held down. All right. And then like that. Give it a good push. So there's my definition. Right, so I'm still technically got 3 to go. Oh my lord, oh my lord, oh my lord. Okay, but I did want just my other book pages from there, so that's fine. So we're going to go straight back into this because that's what I wanted. So I wanted a time, which is that one, I think. No, that's my geometric, isn't it? I needed geometric on this. Did I use the other one? Where was my... No, it wasn't that one. There it is. I want... Oops. I wanted that on there. So, but I'm thinking I'd like the stars written on that, which means it's going to go like that. Yeah, actually I'm happy with it. See, I told you I wouldn't end up with much of that coloured star. So, I'll tear him down there. and tear it across there. Like so. And this one, if it sits you there, about there. I just want it nice and rough. Not as rough as I was hoping, but anyway. I could take a little bit more out of that so that we can see some of the stars that we've done. What do you reckon? And it's going to go, when I find my pencil, there, it's in front of me, about there. Like so. And I'm just going to whop off a little bit of that. Like that. That's what I wanted. Right. Can you see any of those stars up the top there? They were there. You all know that they were there. But I have used other stars. That was my colouring in pencil, wasn't it? Let's get a bigger one. Bigger circle. Bigger circle. It's all right. I had a thought. You know what thought did. All right. Right, let's get a bigger circle, just as a template. Ooh, I'm going to put that on the floor. It'll make a loud bang. Sorry. So, you still can't see any of those. Oh, Kylie. I got another curve here. Maybe that one will work. All I want is one star. I'm going to have to draw another one in, aren't I? Got one down here. I'm going to have to stick it on and draw another one in. It's as simple as that. Told you I didn't want to use it in the first place. Wow. Awesome. Look, there it is. All right, very quickly, we'll put a couple more of these little suckers in. That'll blow. Where am I going? There you go. How's that? And I will... Where's my brush? Where's my brush? The big question here is, where is the water? Yeah, well, we won't worry about the brush. We'll find that later, I promise. Yeah, found it. It tipped over. Found it. There you go. Look at that. Now, we're going to use that. Luckily, that was sitting beside it. Awesome. And this is why I only use really tiny little containers for water. Right, so there's that. There's that. That one. That one. That one. That one. Well, I need something on here and we are done. But then again, it's journey, it's wander, it's maps. It's maps. It's journey, it's wander, it's thinking. I'm thinking, but I want something tucked under there. So I still want to be able to see it when that one's down there. You know, we did a challenge the other week and we had to do suitcase or trunk and I couldn't find anything. But later that week I found that. And it's still sitting on my desk. So, because that's all still journey or wander or things like that. So I just want to get rid of the white again. I'm doing this whole thing now with the tree branch, and I'm also going to use a little bit of coffee in the archival, same brush, just to give it some really well worn, you know, they've been travelling far. Alright, so once again, we'll give it a little bit of a buff, depending on how much water's sitting all over here now. Alright. That's a bit of colour on there. Alright, here we go. It has to go that way, or do I go that way? Bear with me just a moment. Or do I want this one to now go this way? And then this bit, it's like Grand Central Station around here today. I keep hearing the front door go. And here come the next lot. All right, do I want it to go that way maybe? I'm thinking more that way. So, that was a quick change, wasn't it? All right. So I want that rip in there, so I don't want to get that rip any further ripped. Oh, I think it's time to change the page. This lot coming in the door now are very quiet. Not like the last one. And I've just got in trouble for mentioning that they're coming in the door. Right. That's that one. This one I want here, down here, and I might even come up with a word or a number or something like that to go on that bit. Now, in amongst my mess, and you can all see the mess, I'm looking for that. It's all right, found it. So once again, because this one's cardstock or cardstock weight in the die cut, I'm going to use the normal white, my liquid glue, and not the glue stick. I just find that it's got a little bit better hold. If I'm using the glue stick, I tend to it's just literally lightweight paper to paper. Right. How's that? Have we hit the 1 minute mark? Oh, yes. The 1 minute, the 1 hour mark. All right, so we'll finish. I will get the last bit of that done, I promise you. So, once again, don't forget, picture to page. Playing with Paper and Glue Facebook group. Choose 6 challenge. That's what I was trying to get out. Week 13. Jump on and have a look and see if Lynn's done one from Playing with Paper and Glue, and you'll see Jen's come up shortly from Jen's Arty Inclination. We'd love for you to join us on this, and keep watching because our new challenge will be coming up shortly. But as I said before, you've got 2 weeks for this one. So, envelope, definition, marker or coloured pencil, yeah, there you go, you've got it there. Geometric and geometric. So sun, moon or stars, fairy or gnome. That bit that I just haven't filled in there will have my little geometric piece that I showed you before. And I will adhere that, so that'll have this on it. But I will have to adhere that after I've turned off the video because we're going so long. So I'm really happy with how this has come out. And there's our little fairy who is wandering in her journey. And as I said before, with this one, you'll either have it sewn into your signature, and this is a whole other page, or it will go into a belly band and then this will match this section. Thank you for watching. Sorry if I've taken too long. Lots involved with this one today. So until next time, happy crafting. Thank you all for joining us on this one, and I'll see you later. Bye.